We are going to your new home state, Florida, to Jason.
Hey, Chaunte, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. So I had the pleasure of chatting with you last April on the conversations with, and I just love, I was very impressed with not only the work ethic and your wake up at 4:30 a.m. ridiculous routine, but obviously your mental aspect, the pros in each situation right after COVID hit and that mentality. But one of the things with your infectious personality and how you seem like you want to please and make people happy. So it's one thing from a mental aspect for yourself, but how do you go about, solving problems, for those, very selfless folks like my wife as well. She's somebody that's always like thinking about other folks. How do you go to bed at night, right? When you can solve a problem, it's one thing when you can look at, yourself in the mirror, right? And say, I can list these positives and solve it. How do you kind of wrestle with that and or help? Because obviously you can't solve everybody's problems. So, keeping that mentality to be supportive, but yet being able to shift your focus back on kind of what you can control.
Absolutely. There was a time period where I was so inundated with the world's problems and trying to solve everybody's problems that my husband was telling me he felt like he was losing his wife because I wasn't mentally and emotionally there because my mind was going trying to figure out everyone else's problems. And once again, I had to learn how to compartmentalize, and I had to take on one problem at a time and schedule that in. Like having a schedule, I can't stress that enough for the other athletes that are on here. They could attest that you have to have an appointed time when you do things, and you have to have times when you turn things off. So I have a bedtime. And at that time, you could text me, call me, tweet me, LinkedIn me, inbox. I will not answer you unless it's my mom and she calls 3 times. Like it's not happening. And I do that because there was a time period where I'd be in the bed texting and writing things down and not listening and being engaged with my husband, but that is his scheduled time. Like, from 8:30 to whenever, that is his time. That's time for him. And I have my time for my kids. I don't schedule anything when they come home from school. Like that is their time. But when they're gone, I can do whatever I want from 4:30 to 3:30. And that's where I think it's really important. If you schedule it in and then and if she wants to solve people's problems, make it like a checklist. So one thing at a time. And then when that's finished, then she can move on to the next thing, but it really needs to fit within that time slot. Because sometimes she's going to have to say, I don't have time. And I think I really, really understood this when I was going through chemotherapy. I was homeschooling my daughter, which was hard. I was training for the Olympics. And there were certain people that just wanted stuff from me. Can you come over here and do this? Can you come? I'm like, do you know I am literally holding it together here? And there's some people that are just takers. And when you realize who are the takers in your life, you kind of have to compartmentalize and sort out your team. And sometimes you have to let the takers go.
That's awesome advice. I think particularly not just for my wife or other folks like you, but for so many people out there today that are wrestling with that. So thank you. And I also love to dance. And don't think you're out of the Olympics yet, because 2024, there's breakdancing coming. So you might be able to get there. Yes. So, all right.
I didn't know that.
Thank you.